Up till now, we have discussed about disaster management, definition of management, objectives of disaster management, importance of disaster management policy, and the principles on which disaster management policy works. In today's class, we'll discuss about disaster management aim in 2020. So before starting today's session, I want to show you a small video. It's about disaster management. So let us see that video first and then we'll discuss further.
Armed conflict during the past 10 years killed more than 2 million, with 6 million wounded or disabled. Over 1 billion children living in countries affected by conflict. 100 million are under the age of 5, almost equivalent to the population of the United States. 250,000 children are child labour. More than 50% of the world's population live in cities, with 1 in 3 people living in towns. By 2050, the urban population will increase by nearly 200.
So it is a disaster management goal on World Vision 2020. So when we talk about policies, as we have mentioned already, it should be medium or long-term policies. The same way, we have to set up some vision for short-term or long-term. There is a world vision to save children from the disaster management. If you see, the focus is on children's. How many of them are vulnerable for particular disaster or hazard? And to reduce vulnerability, we have to strengthen. There are conflicts in urbanization because of which many disasters, man-made as well as natural disasters, are happening in this time. So for this, we have to adapt the situation. We have to innovate, and we have to undergo some changes in our day-to-day life as well as in the practice. As well as we have to change policies, law according to the current conditions. So these are the three important terms which we have to use or we have to keep in mind when we talk about disaster management. So in this vision, it actually to adapt new situation, innovate something new, and change the current scenario. This is the ultimate aim. To achieve this aim, what we have to do? First of all over the world, we have to reduce vulnerabilities before any disaster strikes. Then we have to build our capacity in right areas. It is very important. In the COVID-19 situation, we have to increase our immunity power. So capacity building in the right area will result in less vulnerability and ultimately the risk will be reduced. So that capacity building in right area is very important. Then we have to strengthen our disaster management. As we know already, there are many policies which are in existence regarding disaster management or handling any type of hazard. For example, we have very good medical service team, private as well as public hospitals, and very good doctors and staff working for the medical facilities. So we have to further strengthen our disaster management by strengthening the small organizations. As we have discussed in last lecture, we have three main organizations which act at the time of any outbreak or any disaster: fire brigade, police, and medical team. So we have to strengthen this organization or agencies so that we can fight against any disaster. This is nothing but the goal 2020. Now, if you can see, now we are in 2020 and we are facing some new problem, or you can say new hazard, because of which this disaster is happening. So at this time, we cannot continue with same policy. Now it is time to adopt this environment, innovate something new, and change our day-to-day life. So any policy cannot stand for every environment. It should be changing depend upon the situation and current conditions. And for that reason only, the next term will be coming, which we are discussing in today's lecture. I hope you understand this video. Now let us move on to the presentation. Up till now, you understand all the important terms useful in disaster management. What is disaster management? What are the different type of disasters? Also, we have started discussing about disaster management. We have seen what are the objectives, importance, and principles. The next term is very important term. So notebook or pen and to start noting down. That is paradigm shift. Now, what do you mean by this? In simple meaning, we have to change our policies according to the current situations. That is nothing but paradigm shift. The actual definition, if you require, it is on your screen. You can note down. So the preliminary response or the relief, what we provide under any policy, that should be continuously strengthened, and we should provide some innovative ideas as well as resources and tools to that particular operation. To focus upon mitigation, prevention, and preparedness to rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery. We cannot follow the same policy in the future also. Yeah, because of heavy rain, today we may face some voice break or network problem. I'm trying to be in a network. If my voice is breaking or you are not clear, put the message on so I will repeat.
सर आपका वॉइस स्लो आ रहा है।
Voice आ रहा है.
हाँ स्लो आ रहा है।
Check your device volume because
देखा
मेरे
सर।
यहाँ पे तो आ रहा है अच्छे से voice. Okay, I will try to speak louder. हाँ, आज थोड़ा बारिश है ना तो प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. But I will try to speak louder so that you will hear clearly. Okay. So as we are discussing, the same policy cannot be continued or cannot be useful in all the situations, because when we design any policy, it is for current situation and coming future. So it is predictable. So whatever we have predicted, it is not necessary exactly it will happen. जैसे कोविड या कोरोना वायरस किसी ने प्रेडिक्ट नहीं किया था. That's why we were not prepared for it. Same conditions happens. So we have to change our policy. We have to change our response and relief operation. And we also have to focus on mitigation, prevention, and preparedness so that it will be easier to rehabilitate, reconstruct, and recovery from that particular disaster. For doing so, what we have to do? First of all, we have to create new policy, legal and institutional framework with effective statutory and financial support. Now, policy we have discussed. Now, what is this legal and institutional framework? This will be discussing in fourth chapter, the next chapter, in which we'll see how the different institutes work for disaster management and what is their organization chart and framework. So for any policy, we require legal as well as we require financial support. So whenever we are designing any policy, we have to make sure we are providing them legal as well as financial support required by that particular policy and organization. Then mainstreaming of multi-sectoral disaster management concern into the development process. As we have discussed, we have to give a proper guidance and proper path so that all the agencies and organizations working for disaster management will follow these guidelines whenever they are working for management of any type of hazard or disaster. So we have to develop such process. And lastly, a continuous and integrated process of planning, organizing, coordinating, and implementing policies and plans with community based, participatory, inclusive, and sustainable manner. तो हम लोग ने बार बार बोला कि the process should be continuous in planning as well as in organizing, coordinating, and implementing. Up to implement any policy or plan, first of all, we require support from that particular community or the local authority. If local authority are with us, we can implement any policy or plans to that particular society very easily. और इसका एग्जांपल भी मैंने कल तुम लोग को बताया था. If local authorities or local leader is not supporting you, then there will be many hurdles in implementing a particular policy or plans. So we have to keep in mind this 3 points so that rehabilitation, reconstruction, recovery will be easier when we talk about prevention, mitigation, and preparedness. So we may get a question of 4 to 5 marks over this topic. So please note down this. So we have to continuously modify the policies. We have to keep on working on R&D, that is research and development, and we have to publish the result to all agencies and organizations working for the disaster management. And that information should be true with all the evidence. Now here again, an important slide, a flowchart of disaster management. As you can see, disaster management is subdivided into two main heads. First is mitigation and second is disaster response. So before giving response to that particular disaster, we have to mitigate it. In mitigation operation again, there are 3 important points. First is risk analysis. Now, what do you understand by this word risk analysis? So we have to analyze hazard, vulnerability, and capacity. As we know, risk is a product of capacity and vulnerability, and which depend upon capacity. So risk analysis is nothing but hazard assessment, which type of hazard it is, whether it is man-made or natural. Then also we have classified man-made and natural disaster in different heads. So we have to see which type of hazard it is. So hazard assessment is important. Next is vulnerability assessment. It means which locality, which community, the number or the property which is vulnerable for such type of hazard. After that, we have to go for risk assessment. Is there any type of risk to property or an individual or that particular society? We have to analyze risk first. See, directly if we go for disaster response, then what will happen? We don't have the proper numbers or the proper planning. So such a rescue operation will take huge time, and we also consume lot of resources. So that first of all we have to go for mitigation. And उसमें भी सबसे पहले we have to do risk analysis. Now after this risk analysis, next is prevention. Before disaster comes, we try to prevent it, or at the time of disaster also, we try to prevent it so that loss will be minimized. So for doing prevention, we have to analyze two things: structural measures as well as non-structural measures. So structural elements like building, bridges, roads, so we have to analyze that, and some non-structural measures, trees or any other holdings. So we have to analyze this as well as the human life. So we are vulnerable to a particular disaster. After this, we go for preparedness. So by analyzing and by applying some preventive measures, now we are preparing for this particular disaster or hazard. So in preparedness, we all know continuously on media, social media, news channels, radios, we are getting this warnings regarding that particular hazard. Whenever required, government policies or agencies ask for evacuation of that particular area. जैसे अगर मुझे पता है the building is at high risk, it can be collapsed anytime. So पहले ही warning दिया जाता है, notices are issued, and we ask to evacuate that particular property. Same जब flood आता है or there are chances of cyclone, we get warning, and the people who are more vulnerable are evacuated from that particular area. And then planning of disaster response. It is also a part of preparedness. We have to plan for the response. अब तुम लोग बोलोगे ये प्रिपेयरनेस में कैसे आएगा, ये डिजास्टर के टाइम पे भी रिस्पॉन्स. But if you are not already prepared for that particular डिजास्टर से प्लान नहीं किया है तो व्हेन आई एम इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन I exhaust my resources and we have very less time to react. For that reason only, we have to be prepared. Planning should be done. For example, when we go for construction, सबको पता है प्लानिंग पूरा रेडी होता है उसके बाद ही वी स्टार्ट विद कंस्ट्रक्शन. ऐसे नहीं है कि पहले तुम लोग फाउंडेशन बनाओगे, then we plan for first floor, then we plan for second floor. No. At the beginning only, we have to plan everything. Then and only then we can go for foundation. Because सुपर स्ट्रक्चर क्या है तुम्हें पता नहीं है तो सबसे पहले सब स्ट्रक्चर कैसे बनाओगे. इन सेम वे टू गो फॉर डिजास्टर रिस्पॉन्स एट द टाइम ऑफ डिजास्टर वी हैव टू, अगर प्रिपेयर नहीं होगे तो क्या होता है, वी ऑल आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग फ्रॉम past 4 months. So that is the reason we should be prepared for this disaster response. ये हो गया मिटिगेशन के बारे में. एट द टाइम ऑफ डिजास्टर हाउ वी गो फॉर मैनेजिंग इट, उसमें आता है डिजास्टर रिस्पॉन्स. हम लोग ने सब ट्राई किया. नाउ इट्स टाइम फॉर वॉर. से बोलते हैं ना टीम में इट्स टाइम टू फेस अ पर्टिकुलर हैजार्ड. अभी हमारे पास कोई और ऑप्शन नहीं है. सो व्हाइल फेसिंग इट सबसे पहले क्या होगा, you do search and rescue mission. Whoever are trapped in that particular situation, we try to search and rescue them. As we have discussed in principles, people or the human life is the center of the policies. सबसे important क्या होता है, a life of an individual or any living thing on this particular planet. So search and rescue में सबसे important रहता है to save lives. Then humanitarian assistance. This will be getting from local authorities or some local leaders or the NGOs who knows that particular area very well. Because we have all the plans with a map result. Still, there are some ways from which we can reach to that particular building or the particular structure or the area earlier. So that can be known by the particular local person only. That is very important. Then we have to go for rehabilitation. After rescuing, we have to provide them food, water, shelter, right? So we have to go for rehabilitation to that affected society. So we have to give them temporary shelter, food, water, and we have to provide them some economy as well. And lastly, we go for reconstruction, rebuilding of that particular structure. So these two things will take a long time. It goes on continuous cycle. ऐसा नहीं है ना कि एक बार डिजास्टर आ गया तो हो गया, वो आते रहेगा फ्यूचर में भी. सो इट इज अ कंटिन्यूअस साइकिल दैट कैन बी डिस्कस इन 5th चैप्टर. तो ये सब लिंक में है अभी. व्हाट वी आर स्टडीइंग ओवर हियर इट विल बी कंटिन्यूड इन फर्दर चैप्टर्स. सो अंडरस्टूड, यहाँ तक सबको क्लियर है? इफ यस, चैट बॉक्स में यस डाल दो थोड़ा, so I can understand you are getting all this. This flowchart is important. Flowchart पूछ सकते हैं डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट का. Don't get confused. This is the flowchart of disaster management. In further slides, we'll see institutional framework. तो फ्रेमवर्क अलग होता है, हर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का अलग अलग होता है. ओके, आधे ही लोग को समझा लगता है, बाकी लोग सो गए. So let us move further. A disaster has happened. डिजास्टर आने के बाद पोस्ट डिजास्टर जो एक्टिविटीज होते हैं दैट आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. प्री डिजास्टर में प्रिपेयर्डनेस, मिटिगेशन, प्रिवेंशन ये सब आया. एट द टाइम ऑफ डिजास्टर वी ट्राई टू रिड्यूस वल्नरेबिलिटी. चलो ये सब तो ठीक है, बट टेकिंग ऑल दिस प्रिकॉशंस आल्सो, डिजास्टर हुआ, हजार्ड तो प्रेजेंट है, डिजास्टर हुआ, इट कम्स अंडर पोस्ट डिजास्टर. तो पोस्ट डिजास्टर में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या होता है? रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन. You talk about earthquake, you can talk about floods, cyclones, tsunami, structural collapse, landslide. ये सब में पोस्ट डिजास्टर, डिजास्टर होने के बाद at a very next second start with rescue operation. और जो 24 आवर होते हैं after that particular disaster, which is also known as golden day, these are very important when we talk about rescue operation. Now there are 9 steps. हम लोग को सिलेबस में पूछा गया है what are the steps of rescue, step by step operation of rescue. So there are in general 9 steps for rescue operation. The first is, and the most important, is to save lives. जैसे हम लोग बार बार बोलते आ रहा हूं मैं, whenever any type of disaster takes place, सबसे पहला important क्या होता है? We have to save our life, then we have to help others to save their lives. So the most important thing and the very first thing is we have to save lives. तो रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में प्रॉपर्टीज को वो लोग देखने नहीं जाते. We go for saving any life. अगर एक भी लाइफ we can save, that is remarkable. The second step is to guarantee that search and rescue teams have comprehensive backup and support both on land, offshore and in air. A disaster can be of any type. जैसे टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ था, we all remember. So at that time we required support from land as well as offshore as well as air also. So अगर ये स्टैंडबाय पे नहीं रहेंगे पहले ही and then you ask for it, then we search for the resources, it will consume time, and in rescue operation time is very important. So for that reason, second step क्या होता है? You have to assure that rescue team has the backup on land, offshore as well as in air. The backup is very important at the time of rescue. Because whenever we are going for rescue, we are unaware of the physical conditions in a particular area. So ऐसे टाइम पे we require a backup team. third step is providing top rate medical care for those rescue. जैसे मैंने पहले बताया था, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन जब स्टार्ट होता है तो वहां पे मेडिकल टीम होनी ही चाहिए, बिकॉज if we are rescuing someone, we are saving life, we have to provide them medical care as soon as we rescue them. So for that reason, we require medical care facility available immediately as soon as we rescue. Third step was medical care. Fourth is the establishment of a rescue headquarters by the state council. So we should have a headquarter which will control all the activities and agencies working for that particular rescue operation. So for that we require a state council, वो होता है सब state में, which will control this operation. Headquarter क्यों important है? Because there are a number of agencies which will be working for that particular operation. तो उनको control कौन करेगा? For controlling and coordination amongst the different agencies, we require headquarters. That headquarter should be set up, or the committee should be set up, which will be handling that particular rescue operation. Then a frontline rescue command center is a fifth step to ensure an efficient and coordinated operation. At the time of rescuing, we require a command center on that particular area, or you can say we require an individual who can command, or he is the in charge of that particular operation, so that the operation will be efficient and coordinated properly. नहीं तो क्या होगा, हेडक्वार्टर्स से ऑर्डर आएगा but no one is to communicate in the war zone, or you can say in the action zone. तो क्या होगा, there will not be a coordination among the teams. So for that reason we also require a command center at that particular location of rescue operation. Next, sixth step, dealing with the aftermath of disaster, especially providing comfort and emotional support to families and friends of passengers. So after disaster, as we know, the person who are affected because of that particular disaster and their families required what? Comfort and emotional support. For providing that, we have some speakers or representatives who are representing a rescue team or are giving a continuous information about this rescue operation. So there are some government leaders or local authorities who are authorized to give out the information to families and friends of the vulnerables or the persons who are trapped in that particular disaster. तो ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जब तुम लोग रेस्क्यू करोगे उनको मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज दोगे, इट इज नॉट द एंड. वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट दोज हु आर रेस्क्यूड, क्योंकि द फैमिलीज आर फ्रेंड आर वरीड whether they are individuals are safe or not. So we have to give out the information on regular time. तो तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा बहुत बार आते रहते हैं, नाम आता है, फ्रॉम वेयर दे बिलोंग, एज, वो सब डिस्प्ले करते हैं न्यूज चैनल्स एंड सोशल मीडिया पे भी, सो दैट इन एनीवेयर अराउंड द नेशन और वर्ल्ड द फैमिली इज, दे विल come to know about their belongings. So this is also a very important step. Next step is setting up a rescue fund and making sure that financial assistance arrives on time in the seventh step. So we have to provide fund. अब रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन तो किया, उसके बाद वी हैव टू गो फॉर रिहेबिलिटेशन, वी हैव टू गिव देम अ मेडिकल केयर. तो ये सब के लिए पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? फॉर दैट रीजन वी हैव टू कीप some amount of fund aside and which will be provided to the rescue operation as well as making the rehabilitation and taking care of the particular affected people. तो ये ऑन द स्पॉट देना चाहिए. ये कौन देता है? गवर्नमेंट ऑथोरिटीज. Recently also we have seen some packages being announced by different state, central. These packages are nothing but the funds which are saved for such type of disasters. Sometimes we have lack of funds, so we have to divert funds from different organizations or agencies or some projects to that particular disaster. So main is the financial assistance should arrive and the fund should be granted for that particular rescue operation. Next is to investigate the cause of accident. It is again very important. सिर्फ रेस्क्यू करके फंड दे के शेल्टर दे के छोड़ नहीं देना है. We have to go and search what is the cause of accident. जब तक cause नहीं पता चलता है, till then we will not be prepared for that particular disaster in future. And that is the main reason we search for cause. किस वजह से हुआ ये एक्सीडेंट, नेचुरल, मैन-मेड, जो भी हो, but we have to find the cause. We have to go to the root of that particular accident so that we will be prepared for it in coming future. जैसे कोविड में पता चला, it is transmitted from human to human. तो फिर इंटरनेशनल फ्लाइट्स बंद हो गए, इंटरनेशनल ट्रांसपोर्ट बंद हो गया. तो these are some safety measures जो स्टार्टिंग में लिए गए. Then we study it properly. वो सब स्टडी होने के बाद then again we start with the international flights as well as the movement of humans. तो ये सब देखना पड़ता है. What is the cause? और जब तक cause नहीं पता है तुम लोग को, then we have to stop and we have to work on this particular platform to find out cause. जब तक cause नहीं पता चलेगा, till then we cannot mitigate or prepare ourselves or prevent such type of hazards. So that's why cause of an accident is very important. कार चालू नहीं होती बहुत बार, क्या करते हैं हम लोग? पहले we try to identify कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है, what is the cause. We didn't understand, we call mechanic. मैकेनिक आता है, वो देखता है, वो बताता है कि ये प्रॉब्लम है, because he is expert in it. So likewise, we have to contact a proper organization or team who can identify the cause. तो बहुत बार तुमने देखा है forensics को बुलाते हैं to identify the cause of a particular accident or you can say murder. So because they are expert in it, so we have some expertise to identify the cause. And the last tip is to make sure that information regarding the rescue effort is released on time and that is it is accurate and transparent. Why it is important? कोई बता सकता है? Any one of you? ये 9 स्टेप क्यों इसमें डाला है? जो रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन होता है, we have to release this information on time and it should be accurate and transparent. ऐसा क्यों? Why it is important? Yes, any one of you? सो गए सब लोग? चैट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हो तुम लोग, बताओ क्यों ऐसा? try to publish this particular information. न्यूज में भी आते रहते हैं, हम लोगों ने बहुत बार देखा है. So that there are no rumors circulating which may cause panic. This is the very good explanation. क्या होता है, बहुत बार हमने सुना है, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल लिख देता हूं मैं, बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट हो गया कहीं पे भी, न्यूज स्प्रेड होता है, किसी को कुछ पता नहीं है क्या हुआ है, कैसे हुआ है, बट व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज आने चालू हो जाते हैं एंड वी ऑल गेट पैनिक, वी स्टार्ट पैनिकिंग. फिर हम लोग दूसरों को मैसेज करते, दूसरों को फोन करेंगे, उनको टेंशन देंगे. ये सब ना हो, फॉर दैट रीजन वी रिक्वायर प्रेस रिलीज. तो प्रेस रिलीज होता है ना बार बार, क्यों होता है? बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन. So it should be released on time as well as it should be accurate and transparent. अगर उसमें भी कुछ गलत है फिर वापस आता है, दूसरे न्यूज में आएगा या फिर व्हाट्सएप पे आते रहते मैसेजेस कि ये नहीं बताया, ये यहाँ पे हो रहा है. Then the videos and photos has been shared. तो in this today's world हम लोग कुछ भी छुपा नहीं सकते. For that reason, the agency who is releasing the information, they should have the accurate and transparent information. और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है एट द टाइम ऑफ एनी टाइप ऑफ डिजास्टर. क्योंकि जब तक वी आर नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग द प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन, टिल देन द पीपल or the society is unaware of that fact, and because of which they are vulnerable or exposed to that particular hazard. So we have to give proper, accurate and transparent information, and it should be given in a regular interval of time. Yes, very good. पैकेज का भी बड़ा बोला. अब वो जो पैकेज रिलीज करते हैं किसके लिए करते हैं, अगर वही न्यूज में या फिर सोशल मीडिया पे कहीं पे नहीं प्रॉपरली आया, तो हाउ विल यू बी अवेयर कि ऐसा कुछ पैकेज हैज बीन अनाउंस्ड बाय गवर्नमेंट एंड विच विल बी यूजफुल फॉर अस. तो ये पता लगने के लिए जो इंफॉर्मेशन आता है दैट शुड बी एक्यूरेट एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट. बहुत बार बोला जाता है कि व्हाट्सएप पे जो भी आता है उसको फॉरवर्ड मत करो. क्यों मत करो? फॉर दिस रीजन ओनली, क्योंकि यू आर अनअवेयर ऑफ इट्स ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड एक्यूरेसी. तो जब तक वो पता नहीं लगता है, वी शुड नॉट फॉरवर्ड एनी सच मैसेजेस, वीडियोस और फोटोज. वी आर एजुकेटेड पीपल, at least we can help in this manner. So these are the 9 steps which are important in the rescue operation. Moving further, now it is interesting. Now we'll see how we have to start with actual search and rescue operation. Many a times, as an individual, it happened to many situations where we require to rescue ourselves. अब इसका एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. The fire outbreak the restaurant in महालक्ष्मी, क्या नाम था उसका, किसी को याद है? 2 साल पहले हुआ था. वन अबाव, सही बता रहे क्या ये? बाकी लोग को नहीं पता, कोई न्यूज नहीं पढ़ते तुम लोग. एग्जैक्टली वहां पे हुआ क्या था? When you trap in any kind of situation, हमें पता नहीं होता है कि कोई हमें रेस्क्यू करने आएगा भी नहीं आएगा. So for that reason, we should be aware and we should know how to act in that particular situation, so that we can rescue ourselves, or we can survive till the rescue team rescue us. ये दो चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. When we know कि हम लोग यहाँ से बाहर नहीं जा सकते, we have to wait for rescue team. तो important क्या होता है? We should hide or we should keep ourselves safe till the rescue team come. टाइटैनिक पिक्चर सबने देखा है? एंड देखा है सबने उसका? He knows कि रेस्क्यू टीम आएगी for the search of any living life. What they did? He put her on a wooden door which can float. अब उसका नसीब खराब था कि वो डोर और प्लैंक कैन टेक अ वेट ऑफ अ सिंगल ह्यूमन बीइंग. सो ही नोज कि रेस्क्यू टीम आएगी, पर रेस्क्यू टीम आएगी टू रेस्क्यू यू, बट टिल देन यू शुड बी अलाइव, राइट? So for that particular reason, we should be aware and we should have that presence of mind to what should be done. And any type of disaster, presence of mind is very important. अब फायर आउटब्रेक होता है, सबको पता है कि many of people die because of smoke and gases. Lungs choke up हो जाते हैं and we are not able to breathe, and because of which many deaths have happened. बर्निंग की वजह से नहीं होता ज्यादा. तो ऐसे केसेस में क्या करना चाहिए? अगर ये तुम लोग को पता ही नहीं है तो हाउ देन यू विल रिएक्ट? For such reasons, you should understand. YouTube पे, Google पे ये सब दिया हुआ है. Many times schools में, colleges में इसके workshops भी होते हैं. We should understand the importance and we should get trained for such conditions. In this particular slides, I have mentioned some important points, some do's and don'ts, the type of some hazards. तो अभी इसमें सब तो cover नहीं कर सकते because there are n number of hazards, but some which are happening regularly, we can talk about it. Now when we talk about search and rescue, ये दोनों के functions are different and these are separate activities. सर्च करना एंड रेस्क्यू करना, इसको हम लोग हमेशा साथ में यूज करते हैं, सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू. बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द मीनिंग ऑफ ईच वर्ड, दैट डिफरेंट. सर्च करना मतलब क्या होता है कि कोई मिसिंग है from that particular place or area. So we go and search for a particular person in order to find. For example, your pet is missing. So we go and search him. हम लोग उसको रेस्क्यू नहीं करते, राइट? तो वो हो गया सर्च करना, किसी को जाके ढूंढना. We know कि there are victims which are trapped in that particular disaster, in a particular structure, and we have to rescue them. So we have to free them. That is rescue operation. और सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू ये साथ में कब यूज करते हैं? When we don't know whether that particular individual is a victim or he is just misplaced. तो ऐसे जरूरी नहीं है ना, those who are missing, who are victim also, वो भी सेफ रहेंगे लेकिन कहीं और रहेंगे, right? That reason we go for search and rescue operation. So in search and rescue operation, there are three important components. First is rescuers, tools, and time. Again, as you can see, victim is in the center. Rescuers, tools, and time. These are the important components. The life of a victim is in hand of these three factors. Now, who's the rescuer? It includes trained personnel and volunteers. इसलिए मैंने पहले ही बोला था, तो जब कभी डिजास्टर होता है, the agencies or organizations working or individual working, they have the license, legal license. Why? Because of this reason. कोई भी रेस्क्यू कर नहीं सकता जाके. For this reason, we require some trained persons and volunteers. Those who are having the knowledge and aware of particular situation. इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ ना, we all should give training of small disasters which may happen when you are building your society. तो वो लेना क्यों important? Because of this reason. Rescue operation बाद में होता है. But at the time of disaster, we can also rescue people if we know how to act in that particular situation. So training is very must. Tools means what? Depend on their availability and the need of the situation. Now here's one example. Storm or earthquake damage may require tools for lifting debris, whereas flood damage may require boats, ropes, and life preservers. So as we know, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Audible. Hai? So tools depend upon the availability. It is not necessary in that particular location dumpers are available, JCBs are available. तो जो भी available है, that we have to use in that particular situation. तो earthquake आता है, तो we requires cranes, JCBs, dumpers to clean the particular mud or debris. Whereas in flood situation, we require boat, ropes, and lifesavers. So depend upon situation, tools may vary or the resources we are using may vary, and the time, the most important factor is time. It is very limited for some victims. The first 24 hours after disasters is called as golden day, as I mentioned earlier. That period during which the injured or trapped victim have an 80% chances of survival if rescued. इसलिए पहले 24 hours में rescue operation start immediately after the disaster, and 24 hours में we had a goal to rescue everyone. Okay, we'll discuss these slides in next lecture. as